The legend of Tiger. Once upon a time, in a dense jungle, there was a magnificent tiger. The tiger had a unique coat of orange fur with black stripes that made him stand out from the rest of the jungle's inhabitants. His name was not known to anyone, so the jungle animals called him Tiger. Tiger was the king of the jungle, feared by all the creatures that lived there.
Tiger had a long and fascinating history. According to the legends passed down from generation to generation, he was born under a full moon on a warm summer night. His mother, a proud tigress, had given birth to him and his siblings in a secluded part of the jungle. Tiger was the runt of the litter, but he was also the strongest and the bravest. As Tiger grew up, he began to explore the jungle and learn about its inhabitants. He soon discovered that he was the most powerful creature in the jungle and that the other animals looked up to him. Tiger felt a sense of responsibility towards his subjects and decided to become the protector of the jungle. Tiger's reputation as a protector soon spread throughout the jungle, and other animals started to come to him for help. Tiger would always help those in need and punish those who caused harm to others. He was respected by all and feared by his enemies. However, there was one animal that Tiger feared more than any other: the human. He had heard stories about how humans hunted tigers for sport and how they were encroaching on the jungle's territory. Tiger knew that he had to do something to protect his home from the humans, but he didn't know what. And so, Tiger decided to seek the advice of the wisest animal in the jungle, the old and wise elephant. He knew that the elephant had seen many things in his long life and would have some wise words to share. Tiger set off towards the elephant's lair, deep in the heart of the jungle, hoping to find the answers he was seeking. Little did he know that this would be the start of a long and perilous journey. Tiger walked through the jungle, his powerful muscles propelling him forward with each step. He could feel the eyes of the other animals on him, watching his every move. He was their king, their protector, and they trusted him to keep them safe. After several hours of walking, Tiger arrived at the elephant's lair. It was a large, rocky cave that was hidden behind a waterfall. Tiger approached the entrance and called out, "Hello, old friend. It is I, Tiger. May I come in?" There was a moment of silence before the old and wise elephant replied, "Yes, Tiger, you may enter." Tiger stepped inside and was immediately hit by the musty smell of the cave. The interior was dark, but he could make out the outline of the elephant's massive form in the shadows. The elephant was sitting on the ground, his trunk curled up in front of him. "Greetings, Tiger," said the elephant, his voice deep and rumbling. "What brings you to my lair?" Tiger bowed respectfully before the elephant and said, "I come seeking your wisdom, old friend. I have heard stories of the humans and their encroachment on our jungle. I fear for the safety of my subjects and wish to know how I can protect them from this threat."
The elephant nodded slowly and said, "Ah, yes. The humans. They are a dangerous species, and they have caused great harm to many creatures in their quest for power and glory. But fear not, my friend. There is a way to protect our jungle and our subjects from their advances." Tiger's ears perked up at this, and he leaned forward, eager to hear what the elephant had to say. The elephant continued, "There is an ancient artifact that is said to have the power to protect the jungle from all harm. It is called the Eye of the Jungle, and it is said to be hidden deep in the heart of the jungle. If you can find it and bring it back to our lair, we can use its power to keep the humans at bay." Tiger was amazed by what he had just heard. He had never heard of such an artifact, but he knew that he had to find it if it meant protecting his subjects. He thanked the elephant for his advice and set off into the jungle, determined to find the Eye of the Jungle. Tiger set off into the jungle, his powerful legs carrying him swiftly through the dense underbrush. He had never ventured this far into the jungle before, but he was determined to find the Eye of the Jungle. As he walked, he noticed that the jungle was becoming more and more dense, and the trees were towering above him. The sounds of the jungle grew quieter, and Tiger could feel the weight of the silence pressing down on him. He pushed on, not willing to give up. After hours of walking, Tiger stumbled upon an old temple. The temple was overgrown with vines and covered in moss, but Tiger could tell that it was once a magnificent structure. He cautiously approached the entrance and peered inside. The temple was dark and musty, and Tiger could hear the sound of dripping water echoing off the walls. As he walked further into the temple, he saw an inscription on the wall that read, "Only the worthy may find the Eye of the Jungle." Tiger knew that he was worthy, and so he continued on, determined to find the Eye of the Jungle. As he walked deeper into the temple, he encountered several challenges that tested his strength and courage. He fought off a pack of wild hyenas,
navigated a maze of traps and obstacles, and even defeated a giant python that was guarding a secret chamber. Finally, after what felt like days of searching, Tiger found the Eye of the Jungle. It was a small, glowing orb that emitted a warm, comforting light. Tiger knew that this was the artifact that the elephant had spoken of, and he carefully picked it up and cradled it in his jaws. Tiger made his way out of the temple and began the long journey back to the elephant's lair. He knew that he had to be careful, as the humans would surely be looking for him now that he possessed the Eye of the Jungle. As he walked, Tiger couldn't help but think about the power that the artifact possessed. He knew that it would be a great responsibility to wield such power, but he was determined to use it to protect his jungle and his subjects from harm. Tiger made his way back to the elephant's lair, clutching the Eye of the Jungle in his jaws. He could feel the weight of the artifact in his mouth, and he knew that it was his responsibility to use its power to protect his jungle and his subjects. When he arrived at the lair, he was greeted by the elephant, who had been waiting for his return. "Welcome back, my friend," said the elephant. "Did you find what you were looking for?" Tiger nodded and gently placed the Eye of the Jungle at the elephant's feet. "I found it," he said. "Now, how do we use its power?" The elephant smiled and explained that the Eye of the Jungle had the power to create a barrier around the jungle, one that would protect the animals from the humans and their destructive ways. However, the barrier could only be activated with the combined strength and energy of all the animals in the jungle. Tiger knew that this was no easy task, but he also knew that it was necessary to protect his subjects. He went out into the jungle and rallied all the animals, from the tiny insects to the largest elephants, and explained the situation to them. Together, they all gathered around the Eye of the Jungle and concentrated their energy on creating the barrier. It was a long and grueling process, but they persevered, fueled by the desire to protect their home. Finally, the barrier was complete. It glowed with a bright green light, and Tiger could feel the power emanating from it. He knew that the humans would never be able to penetrate the barrier, and that his jungle and his subjects were safe. As he looked around at the animals gathered around him, he felt a sense of pride and gratitude. He had been able to protect his home and his subjects, and he knew that he had fulfilled his duty as their king and protector.
But little did he know, the humans were already planning their next move. They would stop at nothing to gain access to the riches of the jungle, and Tiger would have to be ever vigilant to protect his subjects from their greed and destruction.
Despite the protective barrier that the animals had created, Tiger knew that the humans would not give up so easily. They were determined to exploit the jungle and its resources, and they would stop at nothing to achieve their goals. Tiger and the other animals kept a watchful eye on the humans, but they soon realized that they were greatly outnumbered. The humans had brought with them machines and weapons that could easily destroy the jungle and all its inhabitants. Tiger knew that he had to act fast. He called a meeting of all the animals and they discussed what to do about the human threat. They all agreed that they needed to find a way to stop the humans before it was too late.
Together, they came up with a plan. They would launch a surprise attack on the human camp, destroying their machines and weapons before they could be used to harm the jungle. Tiger would lead the attack, and the other animals would follow him into battle.
The night of the attack, Tiger and his army of animals crept silently through the jungle, making their way to the human camp. They could hear the sounds of the humans talking and laughing, completely unaware of the danger that was about to befall them. Tiger signaled to his army to attack, and they charged into the camp, roaring and growling with all their might. The humans were caught off guard, and they scrambled to defend themselves against the ferocious onslaught. Tiger fought bravely at the front of the battle, using his powerful jaws and sharp claws to take down the machines and weapons of the humans. The other animals fought with equal ferocity, determined to protect their home and their king. The battle was long and brutal, but in the end, the animals emerged victorious. The human camp was in ruins, and the humans had fled in fear. Tiger and his army had shown the humans that the jungle was not to be messed with, and that they would stop at nothing to protect it. As Tiger looked out over the destroyed camp, he knew that the human threat was not yet over, but he also knew that he and the other animals would be ready to fight again, should the humans ever dare to return. The jungle was their home, and they would defend it with all their might.